Hey guys, welcome to Honey and Me. I'm Susan. In this video, we're going to be looking at the PT55 refrigerator, which Setpower was kind enough to send to me to try out for them. Setpower makes a whole bunch of different refrigerator freezers, and this one is the biggest of their PT line. With this fridge, you get two cords, one for plugging into a 12-volt cigarette socket type plug-in and one for a 110 household type of plug-in, which you can also find on some solar batteries. It comes with a 3-year warranty for the compressor and a 1-year general warranty. The user manual has everything you need to know on how to run the refrigerator. The control panel is on the front of the cooler on the lower left-hand side and is fairly self-explanatory. There is an indicator for both sides of the fridge. It has a freezing side as well as a fridge side, but they are interchangeable. You can have the whole thing be a freezer, or you can have the whole thing be a fridge, or you can use the large side for the freezer and the small side for the fridge. It's very versatile. The connector for the electrical cords is also on the left-hand side. The end of the cords that plug into this have a little notch in them, so you can't plug it in wrong, which is really nice. The 12-volt cord is nice and long, so it should be able to reach from the back of your vehicle to your cigarette lighter in your car. This is a dual zone refrigerator with two separate compartments that each have their own lid. This is the smaller of the two. The compressor is underneath this one, and probably you would use this one as your freezer. The other side is quite a bit bigger and quite a bit deeper. You can fit lots of stuff in here. It has really nice latches that are easy to use, easy to open, and seem really strong. The external dimensions of the PT55 are 24.4 by 15.7 by 22.6 inches. It can hold up to 58.1 quarts and is 44 pounds heavy. It ranges in temperature from 0 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You can also program it to read in Celsius rather than Fahrenheit. Let's go fire it up by plugging it into the outside outlet on our travel trailer. We've been having some issues with our RV fridge, so this little fridge has arrived just in the nick of time. You hit the on-off button, hold it in for a couple of seconds, and everything lights up. The temperature readings you see right now are the actual temperatures inside of the refrigerator when you plug it in. It's been sitting in the sun for a little while, so it's fairly warm. Underneath the temperature settings, there are the battery protection and the compressor speed, which you can choose by pushing the set button. The up and down buttons beside the temperatures adjust the temperature, so you can set your fridge and freezer to be whatever temperature you want them to be. There are also lights on each side, so you can find what you want in your fridge in the dark. So I put glasses of water. You can see the vibration happening in here. So this is the fridge side. This is the freezer side. And it's actually getting quite cold in here already. You can see the frost on the walls. That's kind of cool. Works quite quickly. So you can see how big this cooler is. It's sitting in the front passenger seat of our big Dodge 1-ton truck. This is where I sit in the truck, so it's not going to sit here when we travel, but it's quite big. Lots of room inside for all kinds of stuff. So I'm plugging it back in to the outside socket on our trailer so I can transfer all of our food. As soon as I plug it in, the light inside comes on because I've got the door open. So I have to turn it on after I've plugged it in. You can see inside the part that you'd normally use as the freezer because it's smaller. There is a list on the back there of recommended settings for the temperatures for both sides, depending on what you're going to be using them for. It's quite handy, as well as a troubleshooting list. So I'm just going to let that pre-cool and then I'll start transferring the stuff out of our fridge into it. So it's been about half an hour, and you can see the temperatures are lowering. So I got all of our cold food put into the cooler, and we ran it for a couple of days, and it worked really, really well. I was very, very impressed. Then we decided we wanted to try it with our 2,000 watt solar battery and see how long it would run on the 2,000 watt battery. So we've had the cooler hooked up to the 2,000 watt battery for about an hour, and it's gone from saying it would run on 10 hours to 5 hours, and it's using 56 watts of power now. It's still 100% charged, the battery, which is interesting. Now it's got up to 62. If we look at the temperatures on here, these temperatures do go up and down as the cooler goes on and off. So you can see right now the fridge side is cooling, so it's using more power. Now it's switched over to the freezer side is cooling. I don't know if you can see that in this video or not. The little light above the freezer side is now lit up and say it's cooling, so it's switched over to the freezer side cooling. And when it reaches its proper temperature, it stops cooling and stops sucking as much power. So it's going to be doing that quite a bit, and I'm going to come back and check in a little while later and see how the battery is doing and what the readings are. Okay, the fridge has been plugged in for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it's only down 1% of the battery. It's saying now that it can run for 6 hours and 6 minutes longer, which doesn't really compute when you think about it's only used 1% of the battery. It's at 48 watts going out, and you can see the freezer part is doing the cooling right now. The fridge part isn't. Dog is licking me in the face while I'm doing this. So that seems to be doing quite well. I'm interested to see how long it will actually run for. We just have to remember that we started at 1 o'clock today, and we'll see when the battery runs out. So it's been almost 9 hours. In the end, we found that the refrigerator ran on our 2,000 watt all-powers battery for about 2.5 days, which is pretty impressive. I didn't find that the time that was showing on the battery saying how long it was going to run for was very accurate, because the fridge does cycle on and off, and sometimes it's cooling the fridge and sometimes it's cooling the freezer. So in all, we found about 2.5 days. I can honestly say that I am pretty impressed with this little fridge, and if you'd like to take a look at them, I'll leave a link down in the description for you to go to Setpower and check one out yourself. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.